Hello everybody, my name is RPG and welcome back to Let's Play Shining Force 3. Having now been freed from the cutscene dungeon, we can now explore what's left of Aspia and have a little bit of a look around and see how people are getting on. And this guy's day drunk, which is delightful. I mean, like, I guess if everything was broken, I mean, it wouldn't really be my go-to, but at the very least I can sort of understand his position. I guess, at a push. I admire this guy. Everything's destroyed and he's just oh yeah, I need to do that, don't I? I'll come back to the flappy friend over there in a second, because that's something semi-important. I'm tempted to put that in the story episode, but I don't think I will. Either way, like, if you cast your minds back to like 100 videos ago at this point, probably, we just defeated the Titan, the Symbios, and Prince Median had turned up, and we didn't really know what was going on. And now we finally had the full conclusion to that bit of story. That Emperor Domeric's been played, which is delightful. I can't remember if he crops up again in the story. Like, I got all the way to the end, but I never beat it, so I haven't seen the epilogue. So I don't actually know what happens to him or if he's mentioned. But I don't recall him being in the story again after this point. So that'll be interesting. Like, I remember some of the plot points, but a lot of the nitty-gritty I don't. I will say, like, though now, because I think it's either here or the next village where the legend of Jumsy is finally revealed to us. And it's just extremely trite. Like, even if you've never played this before, you can probably work out what it is. It's just, they might as well have not bothered. It's just trite. I quite like the word trite. But at least after this, right, after it gets revealed, I don't think they talk about it a lot. Well, I hope they don't, because it'll annoy me if they do. It's just extremely predictable, and it was a pointless thing for them to really include in the story. But enough whinging. There is an item shop here. I'm going to mention this now, actually. There's a haggle on it that I think I want, because it's a life ring. And I could give that to, like, Roly or Cyclops or someone. Just to give them a tiny bit extra defenses. I think I might give it to Roly, because Roly tends to get punched a lot. I still haven't 100% decided on who I'm going to bench. But it's probably Cyclops. Like, he's fine. He's fine as a character. He does decent damage. But everyone does decent damage. And he's got nothing to sell himself to me. Like, if we think about the other characters I could potentially bench, right? It's out of Cyclops, Honesty, Donhort, and Leon. Leon, Cyclops, Honesty, Donhort, and I guess Roly is on the chopping block as well, potentially. But here's the thing. So Donhort's got really high movement, is a centaur, and he's really good against people with swords. Which, like, Cyclops doesn't have anything like that. I think he might be effective against monsters, or dragons specifically, but it's barely relevant. But Donhort's pretty tanky. He doesn't have, like, the most health, but he takes it quite well, and with the way I've geared him, he regens a lot of HP, which I can't get Cyclops to do. At best, I could get him to regenerate too. Oh, I guess Proden technically as well. I'm not benching Proden, but, like, I'm going to include him in this analysis. Honesty is Donhort, but does more damage and flies. So, if I have to cut someone, it'd be Donhort before Honesty. If I really had to cut someone. So, you know, it's not going to be either of those two. Then Roly potentially is a choice, but Roly's pretty tanky. He does good damage, and he's got utility spells, so it's not going to be Roly. So now we're down to Leon, Cyclops, and Proden. Leon does a lot of damage, and that's where my analysis of Leon ends. And he's also the only person I've got with an axe, so I kind of need him, really. Well, I don't need him, but, you know, It'd be nice to have. The character I'm going to replace him with can technically use maces, but I won't. I'll just be using the default weapon, because it's just awesome. Who else? Proden. Proden does a lot of damage, and he also has a little bit of utility with his magic. And importantly, he basically ignores terrain modifiers when he runs around, which is great. Cyclops. Cyclops does decent damage. He's not tanky. His movement is okay. His movement is pretty good. I don't think he ignores all terrain modifiers, but it's not dreadful. But he's just got nothing really special, apart from he can recruit dragons in the same way that Puppets can recruit monsters. It's just that I haven't bothered. And I don't really see myself actually bothering. So, I drop him, I guess. I guess I'll drop him. If I had to drop a second character, then it'd be a difficult decision. I'm going to try once for the haggle. I say once, like, I haven't actually gone good. Okay, you know what? I'll take that. Giving it me on the second go. Give it to 1,000? No. Oh, while I'm here. I've got that rod as well, don't I? That, I think, Donhort has? No? 1,000 has it. 1,000's got all the gifts. Give that to Roly, please. For the... When did you get a Light of Hope? Nice. And the Earth Rod. It is the Golem Rod. Which, I mean, I probably won't equip it unless I need to cast a spell. But there we go. I guess while I'm here, I can offload all of this garbage I don't need. I don't need another Thor hammer. Nor do I need this Shadow Helm. Or this Shadow Helm. I'll keep these for now, but like realistically, this Freeze Rod is probably going soon. These two weapons are... well, actually the Blaze Wand might go first. I have to have a think about that. This is useless now. Everyone's got an accessory. Don't need a Dark Matter. Or this Bone Eater Katana. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure the way this ring works, I could equip it on someone in their ring slot. So, I mean, they have to take 30 Dark Res, like minus 30 Dark Res, which makes them really weak to Tiamat. And they obviously don't get like an Apollo pin or a movement ring or literally anything, but it lets them wield a cursed weapon. Not worth it, quite frankly. And here's a magic rapier that I'm gonna just... I don't think I'm gonna ever need that. Well, that's all that stuff. That's nice and done out of the way. We'll go and speak to Pendolph, because otherwise I'm gonna forget, I'm pretty sure. So, what I'll do... This is just weird. I'll let the game handle it for me and I'll catch you again in a bit. So, Pen and Penko are just casually copulating outside the ruins, and there's an old lecherous scholar penguin just observing them. But he's in the squad now. We got him. I don't know why I've taken the long route round. It's just so I can process what I've just seen. I'm not putting Pendolph in my team. I don't think. Like, honestly, it would probably be relatively beneficial if I did just bin another melee unit for him. Because having a second mage would be pretty handy. Because he's a mage, obviously. Why wouldn't the penguin scholar be a mage? His MP costs are pretty low and his spells aren't too bad. I hear they've got incredible animations, so I will probably show them off at some point, but he's not going to be part of the main squad. If it weren't like... There's another character coming up really soon that isn't Pendolph that I really want to use. And honestly, if it wasn't for that character, I'd probably be using Pendolph. Well, I've got some bad news there. I'm really sorry I murdered him. I think, like, after I get this next character, like, I'm pretty sorted in terms of my party. I probably won't make any more changes to it. It's not that there aren't any more characters coming up. It's just, I kind of like who I've got. Actually, tell a lie. I think there is a spellcaster coming up, and like a little ways away from now, like quite a ways. That, depending on how Don Hort is doing at the time, I might swap Don Hort for that character. Because I think having a second spellcaster, honestly, would probably be more useful than yet another melee. To be honest, I'd probably be better off with Pendolph than Don Hort. To be brutally honest. But I'm going to stick with Don Hort for now. Like, I spent ages making a rationale for who was going to go. And it ended up being, it's got to be Cyclops. Yeah, the second character that gets replaced is probably Don Hort. Unless Leon drops off really hard. Oh! That's a little interaction I never knew about. I guess Onoma is her martial arts instructor? That's kind of interesting. That's something I didn't even know about. See, look, it's nice that the Imperials, not all the Imperials are garbage. I'm not going to spend time reading all the books in here, because I ran around in here a bit ago just to find what the story triggers are. And I'm pretty sure all the books are the same as they were in Scenario 1. So I'm not going to bother. There's a lot of dudes to talk to here, though. I mean, to be fair, though, the fact there are guards everywhere is really selling me on the fact that this is a castle. Like, it's very much a case of important people are in the castle and we have to keep it protected. They don't, like, generally speaking, the aesthetics in this game and the attention to detail is phenomenal. It's like, this translation is absolutely incredible. It's a crying shame it was never, like, released locally. Well, localized, I guess, at the time. And I mean, like, it's kind of Sega's own fault, really, but it's a crying shame that Saturn did so poorly. That, like, this is a completely hidden gem to a lot of people. Like, bold words, I would call Shining Force 3 the Final Fantasy VII of tactics RPGs. Just in terms of how good it is. Well, actually no, that's not really true. Because Final Fantasy VII is really famous, and this isn't. But it's like, it's from the same era. It's long, the attention to detail is there. It's genre defining. That's what I'm getting at. It's a really genre-defining game. This should really be the template for, like, use the formula from this for strategy RPGs. Well, then again, I guess there's two ways you can go with this, really, because you get lots of Shining Force and Fire Emblem style games, and there are lots and lots of Final Fantasy Tactics style games as well, which are perfectly fine. I don't mind the Tactics ones, like the Final Fantasy Tactics ones, but I prefer the Shining Force and Fire Emblem style. Right, if we head through here, we'll officially be in the story zone. So I'm going to cut this one here, so I can put it all the story in one video, this next cutscene leading straight into the next fight. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you next time.